In this video, you will learn much more about parsing HTML with BeautifulSoup. So why are we focusing so much on BeautifulSoup compared to other ways of parsing HTML? The reason is that BeautifulSoup is very easy to use, and once you get used to it, it's quite intuitive. So even though you have a quite long and advanced HTML code, then once you get used to BeautifulSoup, it's quite easy to navigate this HTML. So the way we are gonna learn BeautifulSoup is by doing it. So we want to create a data set from the same website as before in the last video. So we will go to dia.dk and then go to the international news. And then we will remember the stuff that we have already learned. So remember the web scraping recipe. We have 3 steps in web scraping. First, we want to map our URLs. So in this exercise, we will collect some URLs from web pages with news articles, and then we will save them into a list that we will use later. So the second step is about downloading. We will download the HTML content of the web pages. And lastly, we will pass the HTML into the relevant information that we want in each article. And the last step here is where we use BeautifulSoup the most, at least. So let's get started. First, mapping. The first thing to do when we want to map our URLs is to investigate the site that we want information from, because we need to understand its structure to extract information from it. So we do this by opening up the Chrome developer tools on the web page. And you do this by right-clicking anywhere on the web page and then click Inspect. And then we have the Chrome developer tools open. And we need to choose the panel Elements. So this is where the HTML code is in Chrome developer tools. So now we will go to the website and I will show you what to look for over there. We are now back on the web page as before, and now I want to open up the Chrome developer tools. So I do that by right-clicking and then clicking Inspect. And as you can see, then this right panel opens, and you can see that we are already on the Elements panel up here. And what you see here is the HTML code. And as you can see, when I move my cursor around here, then it highlights what the HTML here actually goes to at the web page. So I'm not that interested in the foreign title here. So what I'm interested in is the articles. So instead, I can right-click on one of the articles and type Inspect. And then the HTML code will jump to a place in the HTML code where we see the articles. So what I would like to find here is the link to the article. So I go through some of the HTML code that I can see is belonging to this article, and it takes a little time maybe to figure out where the link is, link to this article is. So So, but I can see that the A tag here, remember that the A tag tags every link on a web page. So I can see that this A tag actually includes the link to this article. This is what we see here in the href attribute. So somehow I need to get to this link, and to do that, I first go up here to find this class and this tag div, and then I try to go back to Jupyter Notebook and use BeautifulSoup to find all the elements with this tag div and class this class, because I suppose that all elements with the class this class are articles, and I want links for every article. Back in Jupyter Notebook, we have now investigated the site, and here I have just written the things we have already done on the website. So we have looked at the HTML of the website and the tree structure in this HTML, and we have tried to understand where the articles are located in this HTML. So we right-clicked on one of the titles of one of the articles, and we could then locate the HTML of this article, and also locate the link to this article. So we want to use that now. First, we do as before. So we go to the website, and we request the data from this website, and then we make this BeautifulSoup object by inputting the HTML content of the website and typing in our parser, and we call it soup. So now we want to find all the articles that we want to scrape, and we can use the function find all in BeautifulSoup to do that. So find all finds all elements in the HTML code that have the tag div and the class attribute, which is written here. So that is what we found on the web page before, and now we want to find all the elements that have this tag and this class. And we do that in this line. So we type soup. This is our BeautifulSoup object from before, and then we type our function find all, and we want to find all elements with the tag div and the class which is written here. And as a class object, we use class with an underscore, because the class without an underscore is reserved in Python, so we need something different. So this is just the syntax. And the result is here. So you can see that this is squared brackets, so it's a list, and it's a list of the HTML code of all the elements that have this div and this class. Yes. So obviously we are not done with our scraping. So because this list is still very difficult to understand, because we have a lot of HTML code still in here that we're actually not interested in. And the next step is that we want the links to all the articles. So here I first find the link for one article to show how it's done, and then I will loop through all article links afterwards. To find the link in each article, you can use the find function in BeautifulSoup, because I investigated the HTML code on the web page using the Chrome developer tools, and I could see that there was only one tag. There was only one A tag. So you can use find to find this one A tag. We can use find if there is only one of the element that we need. And then we will use the href in brackets to select the attribute, because we saw on the Chrome developer tools that the link was actually stored in this href attribute. So we are interested in the content of the href attribute. So let's see how it looks. So first I take the first article, and then I use find to find the A tag, and I store it in the article link. And then I locate the URL in href attribute, because we saw that it was there in the content of the attribute. And we do that, I type this and saving it in the article URL object. And you can see the URL here. So the URL is relative, so we need to add the base URL afterwards, and I will show you how to do that. Another way to do the exact same thing as up here is to just typing .a instead of .find a. So it will do the same thing, and you might see it when you Google through solutions and other stuff. So I just wanted to mention it here. So now I found one URL of one article. Now I want to make a whole list of URLs of all articles. That is what we do. First, I create an empty list where I want to keep my URLs. And then I make a loop where I loop through all articles. So I look at how many articles we have, so the length of the articles list we have made before, and I loop through all of them. So I take one article at a time, and then I find the A tag, and then I go to the href attribute content. So this line here is actually what I just showed you before, just written in one line. So that's a bit easier to write. And then I append each URL to the list of article URLs. So now we have a whole list of all the links on the web page, and that is shown here. So we have a list of all the relative links on the web page. But some of these links are actually not links to articles, and we only want articles. So to only keep the articles, the links to the articles that we want, then I can use this code. So I make another empty list called list of article URLs final, and then I go through all URLs in this list in the other URL list we had from before. I go through all the URLs, and then I check if this string is in each URL. And that is what this line checks. So if this string is in the URL, then we append the URL to the final list of URLs that we would like. And why this string? So I have checked that all article URLs, they include just this string. So this is a way to drop all the other links that we have also found using this method. Now we have mapped our URLs. So we have found all the URLs that we want to scrape from. So the next steps are to download the content of the web pages and also parse this content. So let's do that. Now I will show you how to scrape each web page from our list of URLs. So first I will show you how to scrape from one link, and then I'll show you how to scrape the first 10 articles. But just to grasp the procedure, we will just use one link at first. So in this code, I first create 3 empty lists, and these lists are where we want to keep the information that we extract from each article. So the information that we want to extract is the title of each article, and then the lead of each article as well, and the time posted, the time that the article was posted. And because the links that we scraped before were relative, we need to add the base URL like this. And here I just take the first link. And so this URL we make here is the URL to the first article that we want to scrape. And we request the content of the web page, the article web page here, and we make the BeautifulSoup object in the last line, just as before. So now we want to figure out where on the web page in the HTML that we can find the title and the lead and the time. So we need to go back to the web page and the Chrome developer tools to investigate that. Now we are back on the web page, and I have chosen the first article that we want to scrape. And first we want to scrape the title of this article. So I right click on the article and click inspect. And then we get to the Chrome developer tools, and it has gone to the place where the title is stored in the HTML. So we can actually see that the title is stored here in the H1 tag with the attribute area label. So we need to navigate to this H1 tag with the attribute area label, and go to the content of this attribute to find the title. Second, we want the lead of the article. So we go to the lead, which is here, and we right click again and go to inspect to get to the place in the HTML where the lead is stored. And we can see it's here. So let's click on that. And we can see that the lead is stored here. So we need to find the place in the HTML where the tag is P and the class is like written here. And we need to remember that when we go back to the Jupyter notebook. Lastly, we want the type time posted. So let's go to the time posted on the web page, and we will right click on that again, click inspect. So we will find the place in the HTML where the time is actually posted, which seems like it's here. So when we go back to the Jupyter notebook, we will remember that we need to look for the tag time and the class that is written here. And then we can see that the time is actually stored here in the attribute datetime. So we want the content of datetime. But now let's get back to Jupyter Notebook to extract all these information from HTML. Back in the notebook, we first want to extract the title of the article that we are looking at right now. So that is done like this. So we remember that the title was found in the h1 tag. So we will use the find all h1 tags function here. And we call what we find temp. And you can play around with this by yourself when you go through this video as well. But if you look at temp, you see it's a list, and you can see that there are actually more tags, more elements with the tag h1. So if you go through temp, you can see that we need the second element in this list, which is the title. So I choose the second element here in the second line, and it makes sense if you look at it yourself. And in the third line, I then take the text of this element, and I use the strip function to get rid of trailing and leading spaces. So I save it as temp as again, and then I append this this title to title list. Second, I want to find the lead of each article, and that is done like this. So we remember that we needed to look for the P tag and this article, this class. So use find, because I know there is only one element that matches both the P tag and this class. We store it in temp again. We take out the text from this temp object, and we strip the text, so we get rid of trailing and leading spaces if there are any. And again, we append this lead text to the lead list. Third, we want the time of the article. So when was the article posted on the website? And we can find that using these lines of code. So remember that we found the time in the tag time with the class written like this, and we store that in temp object. And remember that the time was actually a content of the attribute datetime. So we locate that using squared brackets, and we store it in temp again. And then we append this time to time list. So now I have shown you how to do it with one article. Now we just need to loop through our list of URLs, and I will do that for the first 10 articles. So the code looks like this then. Again, we want to scrape the title of the articles, the lead of the article, and the time posted. So we make 3 lists where we want to keep these information. And I go through the first 10 articles, so the range is 10, and then it is the exact same procedure as I've just shown you. I have just copy pasted our the code from before. So the only difference is that here I have written I instead of 0, so it goes through all 10 articles, from 0 to 9 in the loop. And the outcome is the following. First, we have our title list, so we can see all the titles of each article listed here. Second, we have our lead list, so we see all the leads of each article here. And lastly, we have the time the article is posted, as you can see here. So what we need to do now is to collect all this information into one data frame, so we can actually look at it combined. And that is quite easily done. So of course we need to import the pandas package, and we can then make our data frame by typing pd.dataframe and then telling pandas how to make the data frame by this dictionary. So for each column, we type the key, which is the column name, and then we have our list of the values that we need to fill in the column with. And we do that for each list. And the result is this data frame where we can easily look at each article. One last thing before ending this video is that what if we also want the body text of an article? So one might think that the most information is actually in the body of an article. So how do we get that? First, we need to find an article. So I have just chosen one of the articles, and I request the content of the web page, and I make this BeautifulSoup object out of the content. So now we need to investigate the site again and figure out where is the body text in the article actually hidden in HTML. So let's do that on the web page again. Here we are on the web page, and we want to locate the body text of the web page. So I go to the body and right click and click on inspect. And the Chrome developer tools now go to the body of the web page here in HTML. So we can see that it is the first part of the body is highlighted. So, but we want the whole body and not only the first part. So we want to locate the HTML where it is actually where is the whole body text of the article contained in the HTML. So I go a bit up in the HTML tree, and I figure that I can see here that the whole body should be contained from this place in the HTML. So I will use that to find the body text in Jupyter Notebook. Now we are back in the notebook, and we have investigated where the body is on the HTML. So we will find the body by typing the tag div, where we found the body, and the class written like this. So this is where we saw the body was found on the web page on Chrome Developer Tools. So if we try to look at this body, then we can see that we still have a lot of HTML code in here as well. And of course, we only want the text that we see on the web page. So we are not done yet. So if you look closer on the web page, you can see that the body consists of both text and figures, and you can try to look on the web page yourself while watching this video. Then you can see that there's not only one tag. So all the figures, they have another tag compared to the text body. But we want it all, but we cannot use this find all function because the text sections and the figures have different tags. So we wouldn't get the whole body if we would use the find all function. Instead, we can use the children function, and what it does is that it finds all children of the HTML that we are dealing with right now, and that means that it finds both the text sections and the figures of our body, and that is what we want. So how does the code look? It looks like this. First, we make an empty list where we want our body text being placed, and then we can iterate through our children like this. So we have our body HTML element from before. Then we go through all the children in this body, and for each child we append the text, the text we see on the web page. We append that to the text list up here. So how does that look like? Now we see that first we get the first part of the article here, and then we get another element which is blank, and that is because actually these figures, they don't this is a figure here, and it doesn't contain any text, so it just becomes blank. But we wanted to get it anyway to see that there is actually a figure, and then there comes some text again, and so forth. And that is also what I've written here. So we use the text function to get the text of the HTML, but the figure elements doesn't contain any text, so they will just be empty. And now we can use the function join to join all the strings you just saw in the list, so we can get one big string of text that we can then analyze further. And we can use that by joining on an empty string like this. So we just have an empty string and it join our list of text on that. And then we will get the full body text in one string. And then we can just analyze on that just as we want. So that was it for now. And you will learn later in the course about analyzing text. So I will have a lecture in the end of the course about text as data, and we will learn about dealing with such a long string as this in that lecture. So you can look forward to that.